Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Thanks, Raffaele, and good morning to everybody. First of all, I'm very glad to introduce our project in this meeting. I introduce myself. I'm Lorenzo Brino, 20 years already in the project, before as engineering director, and from this year, deputy director of the railway division. Let me share the presentation. Okay. That's it. Okay. It is a plan of the Lyon-Turin international link, TELT, with a special vehicle company shared by the French government and by the Italian railway administration, manages the cross-border section of some 65 kilometers of length. The Turin-Lyon is the central link in the Mediterranean corridor, one of the 9 axes of the European TEN-T transport network. The ongoing revision of the network following the conflict in Ukraine envisages the Mediterranean corridor connecting with the Baltic Sea Adriatic and North Sea Baltic to link the entire continent from east to west, which is from the port of Algeciras in Spain to Mariupol. Our section is built by TELT, and it is 65 kilometers long between Susa in Piedmont to Saint-Jean-de-Maurienne in Savoy. The main work is the Mont-Cenis base tunnel, 57.5 kilometers of length. Finally, the Turin-Lyon is closely connected with the North Sea Alpine corridor by bringing the ports of Marseille and Genoa closer together. A short overview of the work site in activity. As I said before, we started with the investigation program 20 years ago, and we already finished in the layout of the tunnel base. You can see it in bright yellow. We finished 4 intermediate edits, Saint-Martin-la-Porte, La Pra, Modane, and Maddalena in Italy, and a first section of the base tunnel, 10.5 kilometers. These investigation works are finishing in this month of September. Some other definitive work is already achieved. In Saint-Jean-de-Maurienne, we built, in cooperation with the SNCF, the temporary multimodal hub of Saint-Jean-de-Maurienne, with a temporary passenger station on the historical line that will be, as we can see after, replaced by a new international station. Then we finished a short content cover section of 90 meters at the French entrance. Now we have 12 worksite in activity. 3 lots of the base tunnel. I will show you on the next slide. In the middle of the tunnel, we are building 4 ventilation shafts of some 500 meters of height, and a ring road in Modane to evitate the truck goes in this town, and relocating the autoport on the Italian highway of Fréjus in San Didero. Sorry. Okay, oh, I'm sorry. It's very heavy. Okay. The base tunnel is divided in 4 main lots, 3 in France, to excavate 45 kilometers of tunnel, and 1 in Italy, 12 kilometers long. Last year, we awarded the 3 French lots. Beginning from west to east, we have a short entrance lot of 3 kilometers awarded to a Swiss, French and Italian joint venture, Implenia, NGE, Itinera and Rizzani Decker. The central lot is awarded to Lito joint venture, Vinci and WeBuilt, and the lot number 1, the border lot, is awarded to an Italian and French joint venture, Eiffage, Spi-Batignolles, Ghella, Ecojace. The Italian lot is currently in the tender phase, and we will award it in the very next months of next year. When the 11 work sites of civil works will be finished, we will have the last lot, number 12, for equipment and installation in the tunnel. This is the only lot is transversal and binational. It goes from one entrance to the other. This, of course, because the design and the installation and the procedures of the equipment for the future operation must be the same from France to Italy. The characteristics of this tunnel, we started 20 years ago with a very strict coordination with French and Italian railway administration, so to have the same standards according to the STI specifications. This is the section of the tunnel with the autoroute ferroviaire gabarit, which is wider than the normal gabarit. You can see that the tunnel is very small if you compare it from everything we have to put inside. We have two sidewalks. The left sidewalk is to let passengers evacuate in case of accident to the bypasses, and the right sidewalk is for maintenance and operation. The maximum length of trains in tunnel is 750 meters for freight. The maximum number of trains in tunnel allowed is 13, 7 in one tube and 6 in the other tube. Trains allowed are of category B. The maximum speed of freight trains is 120 kilometers per hour. The signaling system is RTMS number 2, and truck gauge is standard UE dimension, IDIST 1435 millimeters. The civil works, some details of timing. The civil works, the definitive civil works began in 2029, and they will go over to 2029. Then installation of equipment will occur between 2026 to 2031, and the last year, 2032, is dedicated to testing and line commissioning with a start date of operation of 3 January of 2033. The Italy-France freight traffic is important for us, the multimodality goal, as we can see. Since 2000, nearly 7 million trucks and 100,000 trains crosses the Alps every year, which represents nearly 150 million tons transported. Unfortunately, road remains the preferred mode of transportation, as in 2019, 70% of these goods were transported by road and only 30% by rail. This means an average annual rate increase of some 3%. This 3% covers very different situations across the board areas in the Alps that can be directly attributed to public policies on freight transportation. Indeed, we go from 70% from Switzerland to Italy, 27% for the links with Austria, and only 8% between Italy and France. With almost 3 million heavy good vehicles, the traffic recorded in 2019 exceeds the historical level of 2007 of some 50,000 vehicles. Growth is partially marked at the Ventimiglia crossing, plus 4.5% in traffic, the most important crossing point between France and Italy, which alone accounts for around 10% of traffic in the entire Alpine area. The AFA, Alpine Railway Highway Project on the Eton-Orbassano section, was born in 2003 with the aim of finding safer transport solutions, especially for dangerous goods, and for the 44-ton transit prohibited in the Fréjus-Roth tunnel. It is a short-distance service capable of transporting semi-trailers across the Alps with a high degree of efficiency. You can see here the diagram of the traffic in these last almost 15 years. As mentioned before, in 2019, rail freight traffic accounted for 8% of logistics between Italy and France. When fully operational, with the new Mont-Cenis tunnel, the Lyon-Turin is aiming to reach 50%, a credible target, considering that the ratio of rail to road in Switzerland is 70-30. The modal transfer on the Western Alps, on the horizon of 2032, will therefore be able to count on two different but parallel routes. The current Fréjus railway tunnel, the interregional scale line for exchanges between Piedmont and Auvergne-Rhône-Alpes, and the future Mont-Cenis tunnel, a continental scale line for long and heavy goods train for maximum energy and emission savings. Of course, the performance of the two tunnels is very different, and both will be managed by TED. For freight train passing through the Mont-Cenis tunnel, they will require between 33% and 40% of the energy per ton of the actual passage through the Fréjus Pass. This is a very, very interesting data, especially in this moment where energy is quite a delicate problem. I wish to thank you everybody for your attention. I'm available for questions if you need. I have to apologize since now because after this short Q&A session, I must leave the meeting because I have an appointment in France in the early afternoon. Thank you to everybody.
Thank you, Mr. Brino. Thank you, Lorenzo, for your very interesting presentation and the data, the interesting and important data you gave us. We got a couple of questions. The first one is, what do you intend with category B trains?
This is a category of the international standards.
Yes, sure. And there is another one concerning
the loading gauge gabarits. They miss the information. What is the gabarit in the tunnel? Okay,
this is a new gabarit to allow autoroute ferroviaire passing in, and it is 4.2 meters high. They will allow to bring standard trucks on wagons to cross the Alps. All the Turin-Lyon gabarit will be the same, and of course, and this coordination, as Raffaele said before, is very, very important. And it is the activity we began first of all with our partners SNCF Réseau and RFE to allow the same traffic towards the Alps.
Thanks, Lorenzo. I don't know whether we are perfectly on time. We are even ahead of schedule. Is there anybody else? Do we got anything else?
Yeah, I see other two questions in the chat. I don't know if they want to intervene themselves, or Luca Farina, if you want to express your question, or I can read it. So the question is in the chat: as Captrain Italia, we are a freight company and we will expect a D4 axle category and P400 gabarit, isn't it? So,
okay, it's a very detailed question. If you like, I can give some more details by written form. If we will have the question by mail. I'm sorry, but it's very detailed and complicated, so I think it's better to give written answers for us a so important question.
Yeah. Okay, thank you.
Just one question, a question of mine, Lorenzo, about the track. You envisage the utilization of concrete slabs or ballast?
Concrete slabs in tunnel and the ballast on the open side sections.
Thank you. Right.
You're welcome. Thank you to everybody for your kind attention.
I know, Lorenzo, that you cannot